So it is Sunday night. Just got home from work not too long ago. Had a little mistake with the fuel tank. So as you know, I made a return line and I just drilled a hole right in the tank and put a line in there. Well, what the hell was that? Freaking bugs. Summertime bugs. Anyways, I had made a return line and I didn't make it long enough. Really, what you want on a return line is you want it submerged in fuel. Not just, you know, where it dribbles back in. You want it submerged. Otherwise, you're going to have problems. So, I took the center unit and drilled a hole. And as you can see, it's oozing over where I don't need it to be. But that's kind of what it looks like drilled through. I'm going to have to get a thing and wipe that off. I might actually level this a little bit so it's flat. But I threw some JB Weld on there. Should seal it right up. I got a clamp right down here holding the line together. That's about as far as I'm going to go with the JB Weld. And it's very interesting snaking this thing in here. This is just a straight, no filter, just a straight hose, touches the very bottom of the tank. This here actually does touch the tank too, so those will be completely submerged. I am running to replace the strainer that was in here. I'm going to use a little mesh filter that you can clean, a serviceable universal filter from Napa. I will be introducing something like that to the system. That way, whatever this picks up, like a little bit of metal shavings at the bottom of the tank or some dirt, it gets filtered to that, or pre-filtered before the pump. So we'll be running something like that. But I got to take care of this because I don't want to have to grind that away, because my little thing has to sit on there and it has to be able to lock that down. Which I have to go pick up my new one I ordered. It didn't come in Thursday, so I'm like, well, I'll pick it up whenever I can. So I'll have to pick it up tomorrow. But yeah, that's what that's looking like. Almost looks like a factory one because of the age. This line here, believe it or not, came from the C6. This is the little vent, or not the vent, the vacuum modulator line. Yeah, I cut that thing up and made it work with this. Bent it up just a tiny bit. So that has become our... almost fell. Check this out. This is my phone. I dropped it. What I had done was something to the effect of just... I don't know how I did it, but I did it in a certain way, but I just went like that, and it went straight to the ground and went tsh. Look at that. Phone still works, except for the part where I can't do this anymore. So I'm going to get a new one. I'll give you an update on this. I'm getting a new lock ring and gasket for this. The whole point of this JB Weld is to lock the top end in and to seal it. I don't need this leaking, so I probably shouldn't have to do the bottom side, but I might. So once that is done and I get some clamps, some new clamps, and some pads, we can get this tank back up in the truck, fill it with diesel, or I'll put my 5 gallons in there, and then see if we get air. We'll just run it for a little bit until it runs good, and then shut it off, come out the next day. If it fires right up, then it doesn't have air in the system. So this is my new phone. It's a Galaxy S4. Really didn't want to spend the money because, as you know, I'm trying to get this guy here set up with a new transmission, but I really needed a phone that is just capable. This phone here has pretty good camera on it, good microphone, and it'll let me do some, you know, behind the scenes YouTube stuff, and it's just a more functional, much more functional phone. And it's well worth the money I paid for it. And this thing is just fast. I'm sure that'll change in a year after me using it like my other phone, but I'm pretty happy with it. I can check my, Gmail. I got my Gmail and email set up at the same time on this thing. Alright, this is the S10 Adams thingamajigger. We just put a new one of these in there. Got oil flow, I can feel it. Look at this thing, I wiped this down with motor oil. It's like brand new. Put some fresh oil in it. Our oil pressure is a little low. We just put a new sensor in it, but I think it's just a GM. I had to redo the timing on it because it came undone, so I advanced it just a tiny bit. It's running a hell of a lot better. I know it's kind of random. Yeah, I wiped it down with motor oil. Remember how faded it was? Rubbing everything. Now I'd buy this truck. Cleaned out the bed. It's worth $2,000 now. We got one other leak to fix. It's a lower radiator hose. Hopefully that'll be easier. This was a pain in the ass. We had to cut the old hoses and then snake in the new one, hammer it in, and then use a jack to put the little adapter thing in there and then thread the bolts. It took us all day, quite literally.
It's leaking coolant really bad.
It's not leaking oil. It is leaking coolant pretty bad. That's not gonna stop us from driving it though.
Yeah. I think it's that clamp.
Well, I think the clamp has compromised the hose. Yeah.
So I gotta take this out.
Yeah. So we're almost there.